We're starting up in the Cyber Cafe, which is in front of the Library Media Center / or AKA Learning Commons that we now have. And we're making our way down. We'll go down this way and we'll first go through the community spaces. And the community spaces are on one side of the building, on the academic side is on the other, so that after hours we could lock off the academic side and people can use this side. If you remember in the old school, the gym was on one end, the cafeteria was on the other, the auditorium was next to that, and people had to go through the entire building in order to get to things. This is all in one place.
Just pushing all the students here, and then also opening up the Learning Commons, starting on Tuesday and Thursdays until 5 o'clock. Again, trying to keep our kids here rather than having them go to the town library. They can work on projects, they can work with classmates, they can just study, and some downtime. And maybe they're waiting for a practice, maybe they're waiting just for a ride. Hopefully it's something that maybe goes from 2 days a week to 4 days a week. So again, making this a real community atmosphere here in this part of the building.
And this gym, our old gym was 6,500 square feet. This is 12,000 square feet. And the basketball court has been lined for a 94-foot basketball court, so there's going to be some huffing and puffing with suicides this year because we went from an 84-foot to a 94-foot. We'll help them in tournament, but they are going to be complaining the first week of practice.
There's also a divider that allows them to run essentially 3 phys ed classes at once. You can have one on this side, one on the other, and then one also in the fitness room. We do courses. We have individual fitness, we have group fitness, we have weight training, so they could be working in there. There's also a 2-lane running track that goes around. So during the winter, you can have basketball practice going on and kids in winter track running around the gym.
Yeah, they don't have to run through the halls anymore.
The seating in the bleachers is for 625. The floor is about 400. Thank you, bro. I know. You should have all the bleachers.
This is the fitness room, and $45,000 worth of equipment was donated by the West Bridgewater Boosters. So they gave us $45,000. Wow. It was actually the majority of stuff in here we covered with what the boosters gave us. So that was a great donation. And
thank you, boosters.
we can't wait till they come in and see it. So we do have a little plaque that we're going to put right above the door on the way in that says basically a thank you to the boosters for donating all this stuff.
The athletic director's office is here and the training room is here. So we've got great accessibility to the trainer, to the kids, and also to the door out here, which leads to the fields.
This is the locker room. People that are watching this on video can't smell, but you can smell it. It doesn't smell.
Bottle some of that up here.
Now, football's starting, so in a couple weeks it might, but I don't think it'll ever smell like that old one. So this is the regular locker room.
And the PE teachers will be right here, so again, great visibility into the space, no longer are they down the hall, they'll be able to hear and see exactly what's going on.
And then the shower area and the tea room, right?
Yes.
This is the tea room. So if you notice, the lockers are bigger, so they can fit their big bags. And this locker room, this is the boys' locker room. It's like the girls' locker room is identical. And it was one of the things that especially the girls said they needed bigger lockers because all the old lockers they had, they couldn't fit their field hockey sticks in because they needed taller. So we made sure we got bigger lockers for those big football and bags and field hockey sticks for the girls' field hockey team. So the cafeteria, you can see that we have the regular cafeteria seats, but there's also side seating on the counter, and then You can see that there's also seating out in the courtyard, so kids can eat out there also. And what is nice about this space too is with the projector and the screen, you really have another informal, almost informal auditorium that you can have presentations. And with the seating that we can put up on the stairs, you can also get more people, and they're collaborative stairs so the kids can share and talk.
So students will enter on either side of the barn doors, and they'll get the same food on both sides, and then come out in the middle by the seat.
It has 420 seats, because you can only do, the MSBA will only allow you to do 2/3 of your population for seating. So, but that works out for us because we could have the whole high school in here or the whole middle school. We wouldn't have 7 to 12, but if we needed to have 7 to 12, we wouldn't have the projector. So it works out for us. We still do that. So it's just, and wait until you get your first play or concert, because the sound in there is unbelievable. You're not even really going to be able to catch up to what it's going to be like that old Bose commercial. It's going to be great. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. And then we'll go into the next section is where all the music rooms are. This is the band room and chorus. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful room. We have the cages for the instruments. That's not for animal testing. Actually, the teachers are today setting a lot up. So it is going to be a great space. Once they set up the rises, they can have choral practice and a nice big, with the great acoustics sound, just the way the room is set up, the acoustics.
That way, we won't have to go down there, but there's a dressing room, male and female dressing room with a sink, so they can go there for the plays and get ready. They don't have to be in these kind of spaces. They have their own dedicated space.
Yeah, they've done that before. And then next door, we'll go into the mini lab, which is the electronic music, which is probably the most expensive room in the place. This is the MIDI lab with all the electronics, so they can do digital music, compose their own music, so even kids that, don't play instruments, but there's software so you can help compose music, and a lot of people are into composing their own music through digital music. It's just an awesome space. And then there's individual practice rooms, which we didn't have at the other school, and we really did need the individual practice rooms so kids can go with different instruments and practice, close the door, and they can be separate. So if you're running a class, you can have 3 different kids in there. All right, so video editing, part of, right off of the video lab. This is a shared space with the town cable station, but during the day we have really full classes. I think there's 6 different classes that Mr. Craig teaches. So this is the actual video lab. So what was good about this space, it can also, you can see the screen that goes around, there's a green screen, so this can be set up as a studio, but during the day it can be set up as a classroom. So that's why we got the nesting tables that flip, so that we can set it up and it's flexible, and then you can close them up when you want it to be a set. We also, the chairs actually aren't in here yet, but they're stackable chairs so that this can be open, or it can just be set up as a classroom, and it's pretty easy to do. I'm glad that worked. If it didn't, we would have been in trouble.
And we have remote access points in the Learning Commons, in the cafeteria, gym, and auditorium, so Mr. Craig can send out his kids, they can plug right in, he can direct them, tell them where to be taping, go to the right, go to the left, and they'll be Images will come right back here so they can start the whole process right away. They don't have to tape it, and then download it, they can do it all instantaneously.
And then the control room is right next door. So you have editing, the video lab, and the control room, separate pieces. This is a great, great space. And I need to thank our local cable committee, because the town cable committee gave us $125,000 to outfit this state-of-the-art. So it's over and above what most high schools would have just for their classes, because we have this partnership with Comcast. But to get that money, it really supplied us everything that the kids can use, that the town can use, and everything's new and it's state-of-the-art. I was talking to Mr. Cray today, and he said all this stuff is just unbelievable what they're going to be able to do, and just the kids are going to be able to get to the next level. And again, the very highly subscribed courses, so the kids are going to be really excited about it. They already loved it, now they're really going to be able to take off with it. This is the STEAM Commons. We talked about before that there's a lot of common places for kids to collaborate, learn, share, communicate, and kind of demonstrate all their 21st century skills that they need to be successful today when they're college and career ready. And this is the STEAM Commons because it's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. It used to be called STEM, but with the addition of art and design and architecture and all those types of things, it really blends into the whole science, tech, engineering. So it's the STEAM Commons. A lot of people come through and say that's a typo. It isn't. It's supposed to be the STEAM Commons. And this is right across from our robotics and CAD lab. So we'll have a robotics program, CAD's right next door, so they can go into the CAD lab and design whatever their project is on the computer, and then they can come out and actually build it, and then be out here and be testing doing contests and testing their robots or whatever else they built. But right next door, we have the art gallery. So we have art right next to science, and then math right upstairs, and that's why we have that staircase like that. So the math is upstairs with science. This is the engineering gallery next to the art rooms. There's a kiln room, there are regular art rooms, and they're all down here, but it's just a nice space so that if there's an art show, you can set it up here, you can go in there, but also maybe, you know, robotics can use both of it. If there's a science fair, so you can do it a good shared space. She's got a whole It's really a stability ball, but it doesn't roll all over the place, you know, so you get it's good for your core. And we have our comfy furniture, and we'll have art in here. There's also going to be things hanging from the ceiling so they can hang up from up there also. But it's a really cool space, and you can tell from the lighting. A lot of activity, a lot of great things will go on in this STEAM Commons. You can notice too, in all the classrooms, and this is a good time to look at, in all the classrooms, we have whiteboards with interactive projectors, and the interactive projectors, they're the short throw projectors, and they actually make the board interactive. So you can use the touch screen for that. And then every teacher station is hooked up with their own laptop, a docking station, and a document camera, which is directly connected into the board so that they can run it like that. Each teacher is also going to get a remote tablet so that they could be in the back of the class and still be running the whiteboard up there. So it's a nice setup. And every classroom is outfitted with that same, with the teacher station and all that. So the nice thing is then the teachers, instead of having the old desktop, they'll just take their laptop, and we'll show you later, there's teacher planning areas, so they could go in there and plan, and then have that, so they can move around. So again, the flexibility and adaptability.
As we head down the hall, we're going to go into the middle school. So we'll start with the 8th grade, and then we'll circle around to the 7th grade.
Okay, this is a typical teen commons. So this is the 8th grade. See the blasted color because there's energy and excitement and creativity, especially in orange. And this is a typical middle school commons. So what would this be used for? You can see that there's comfortable furniture and there's also chairs and tables. So if a group of kids need to do a project, they can come out here and they can get together in different groups depending on how they want to work. So teachers can send the kids out here. You could have a whole class come out here. The TVs are not only connected to all of the TVs through a MediaCast program so that they can get announcements and we can do a news show from the video lab, but also with, you can plug your cable into your Chromebook or your laptop and you can actually do a Google slide presentation. So it's interactive with the computers also. But the reason for all this too, in the comfortable furniture, is because kids aren't like what we were forced to do. Because I was going to say like we had to do, but we were forced to. When I was forced to study, it was at a table like this and it just really wasn't that comfortable. Most of the kids now, when you talk to them, they'd rather be laid out or be on something comfortable and have their laptop and they kind of hang and they can just put sit tight. No. So, and there's actually a little bit more coming. Or they can lay something on the table, they can sit in groups. So we wanted to do both so that they'd have the opportunity to do both. The other thing, and who's going to try this out first? Mr. Bodwell? Or one of the kids that are here? All of the classrooms have these chairs as their classroom chairs. And they're actually rocking chairs, and they are very comfortable. And they're rockers because there's a lot of research that shows that movement creates concentration. It makes you continually concentrate. And you don't even know sometimes that you're moving, but when you're sitting on an uncomfortable chair and you're listening to something, you can get fidgety and stuff. Well, this gives you natural movement all the time, and you're not sliding down those horrible, uncomfortable blue plastic chairs that we had before. So,
and the kids loved them. Every kid that came through the tours today and before, they took right to them. And they were a little bit crazy at first, but then they were really realizing that it was very natural for them to sit in a chair like this.
mm-hmm.
And also, you notice around here we have the charging stations. So, all
So they're one-to-one devices. So although we're going to tell the kids you should charge at home, have your device charged when you come in the morning, you know they won't. So we need charging stations. So this is a middle school science room. You can see that the way the science rooms are set up, that you would have the kids, they can sit here and do classwork. So we kind of did the chairs double so that they can sit at the table and be at the regular height. And they're also standing height because a lot of times when you do labs, being a former science teacher, you prefer that they stand versus sit. And then each of the lab stations, basically these are on wheels, and each lab station, you can move them to the side and put them up to the edge. You can see all the plugs that you have. You can see the gas, so you'd have the gas here. You have the plugs for their Chromebooks if they're recording data or any other of the things that they'll be using. And then they have the water. We also have appropriate handicap stations for students with disabilities. And we have actually 2 in each science classroom. That's both up and down. The only thing that the middle school science labs don't have that the high schools do is because they don't do a lot of the same things with the chemicals like the chemistry class, the upstairs labs have hoods between their prep rooms. Each 2 science classrooms has a prep room right in the middle to put all their equipment. They can prep for the labs and bring the things out. They can prep in the classroom, especially if people are sharing a classroom. So they're a lot nicer than the science rooms I taught in, that's for sure. So this is a shared commons for the middle school. And you see that the chairs aren't here yet, but they're on their way, we hope by tomorrow. And this area would be a breakout space for maybe class meetings, club meetings, at the Little Leo's Club, homework club after school. This is also the area, I believe that during snack, this is the area where they're gonna serve snacks. You can either stay here or go back to your classroom, how it's set up. We're also gonna put some outside furniture outside there in the courtyard, so it's a really nice space that they can do a lot of different things in, and I see especially a lot of after-school activity things for the whole group in this space. So this is the 7th grade commons. And 7th grade gets green, so they have to have the orange seat. Mr. Waddle and I worked really hard to make sure that you got the right colors, and then we also have some accent pieces coming, believe it or not. But again, just a great place for collaboration and working together. And I mean, if you were ever in the old school and teachers said, oh, okay, let's break into groups, you'd walk down the halls, kids would be sitting on the floor in the hall, they would do, which was great that they were doing those things, but now they actually have the space for it. The other nice thing about this building, which really we didn't have, this first floor was truly made for a middle school. So it is set up with middle school wings, it's set up with the teams that can be together, and their own space. The 7th grade has a space, 8th grade has a space, then they have a shared space. The old high school was just that. It was built as a high school, and then there was space in town, so we put the 7th and 8th grade up there probably over 30 years ago. They never really had their own space, and now they truly have a middle school that is truly separate. And I know that makes parents a lot happy, because they do. They get nervous when kids come over from 6th grade to 7th, and they're like, there's a 7th through 12. But there's really no reason for our high school kids to be walking through here. They'll be down in the other area, but the 7th grade and the 8th grade, it's truly just, it's a middle school concept. So it's nice that they actually have their own space. It's another area for lunch. Actually, the Cyber Cafe and this tower area are going to be for seniors. So it'll be their place during lunch. During the rest of the time, it will be for everyone, but during lunch, the seniors can be up here like a privilege, which is really a nice setup. This is the best seat in the house if you want to come watch a game. This is nice. So, if you want to come watch a game, I think people are going to come flocking to these seats and want to sit here. No, but, you know, we could rent out some space, do a fundraiser.
And when the thing comes.
Well, this is definitely the prom king and queen have to stand up here, wave to their court. We're also going to take all of the team banners, and they're going to be hung from that rafter on this end and on that end. They'll be hung, instead of being hung on the wall like they were before, they'll hang from those rafters. The padding still hasn't come yet because it went out actually late to bid, but so there'll be pads on each end. We had maroon ones, they're actually going to be black pads on each end. And then there's going to be, on that wall, it's going to say West Bridgewater and caps with 2 wildcats on each end. The history wall will be, this entire wall will be covered with a mural all the way down to, I think, that line right there. And it is the history of West Bridgewater, and it is set up, the backdrop of it is from the original map of the starting of West Bridgewater, like downtown with the town river, so it would be right downtown. And there's some names of some family homes and stuff, but it's a very old map. That's the backdrop. And then there's about 10 pictures of places in West Bridgewater, like the town center, Howard Seminary, the Keith House, the canoe club back in the 1800s, the 4 one-room schoolhouses that were the original schoolhouses in the town of West Bridgewater. And then mixed into that is like a Wordle of 20 different phrases or words that depict the history of West Bridgewater. They did a nice job putting it together, so that should be coming pretty soon. And it will be nice because that's a history of West Bridgewater, and then we'll walk down this bridge, and at the end of it, you'll see the retro room, which is the history of the school.
Ooh, that was a good lead-in.
So this is the retro room. Still getting set up, but it's all things from the old school. And you can see we have the old auditorium chairs that we told the kids today. That's the in-school suspension. We have the different desks from the different decades. This one actually still has a place for an inkwell, so this is a really old one. The fact that we still have it.
Where was that?
We keep things for a long time. And then one of the old benches that was actually in the senior lounge, the original
Class
senior lounge.
1980, I think.
Yeah, and we're gonna put up the old intercom, and we have the old ear horn from when they used to do the air raids drills in the 1950s, so we thought we had to put that up. And I think the coolest thing, and Mr. Bodwell came up with this, the 4 lockers, they're gonna go up, and this is the number 19 and 53, and then 2015, because that's, you know, the first graduating class and the last graduating class, so it's kind of cool. And then we'll have the wall of principals. This was a gift from the class of 1961. And so people, teachers, actually some teachers will probably still want to go behind it because we didn't allow them to bring anything like this, so they'll just need a fix. Bueller. And then we got the old TV. And then that's just some old, we get the old record player and film strip. And who are the kids here? They wouldn't even know what a film strip is.
Really?
Overhead projector. The original microphone from the intercom system that Mr. Bodwell found out that Eric Benson used. And then the Howard High School picture, Howard Seminary is going to go up also. So it's kind of neat because you can still come up here and sit. It's just some memories of the old school. So it was nice to be able to keep some of that stuff together, and I think it will be a real place for people to come, especially if they come to a show or something and see it, and they'll have a lot of conversation about it. So it's nice. Now we're entering the high school academic year. So this is a high school chemistry lab, and you can see the hoods that are double-sided, which is really good, because you don't get that a lot. Or the old ones didn't have that, we only had one-sided. Now you have double-sided, so if you're preparing something in the prep room, which is right next door, you can prepare it in the hood, or you can have the kids doing a lab on this side. And to have 2 hoods is huge, because we always only had one in those rooms. And it's basically a similar setup, except for the fact that you have a little more equipment, a little more high-tech things, just because you have the chemistry and the physics, and you have the higher level courses up here. But it's a nice setup, and you have the prep room. So the 4 science rooms are all next to each other, and each tube shares a really nice prep room where they'll put all the chemicals and have the storage and all those things. So it's a really nice setup. We've got a recycling center. One thing that's cool on the second floor, all that natural light during the day. You really don't need the lights in here during the day. It's even on a day that's not sunny, it's unbelievable how much natural light comes in here. And this building is so much brighter, like 100 times brighter than the old building. If you remember, walking down the halls, there were no windows. So this is just having the sun in, having the light is just really, I think that helps everyone's attitude, especially in the winter. Natural light is good. High school's a little bit different than middle school because we went with the high tops for the high school tables versus the lower ones. And they also have the hookies, which are similar to what a yoga ball does or a stability ball, but then it doesn't roll all over the place. So they won't even know it. They'll be having fun, and they won't even know we're building their core muscles. So that's always good. Always thinking of physical fitness. And again, we have the lounge furniture and the high tops that they could just be doing work. They can be getting groups. You know, we put stuff together like this. Who knows? Once the kids come up here, they're going to move it their own ways, and it'll be interesting to see how it ends up once kids are working with it. But another commons area. So there's 2 high school commons and 2 a grade 7 and a grade 8 commons. Teacher planning room, and these are department head offices, and the teachers come in. So remember we said that they have their laptops on those carts. They can just take their laptop, come in here, plan, especially if they're sharing their class, or they just want to get away from the classroom someplace a little more comfortable, come in here. They can also have a department meeting in here, bring in parents to talk in here, and
Every
do
2
any of the
weeks
work.
during power block, there's a common planning time, so for 30 minutes, they'll be in here again with the department, not trying to find a classroom to do it in. This is a great space for them to come right in.
So there'll be the copy machines in each of the teacher planning rooms, and they can come in and do their planning, go back to their classroom. It's just another space for them so that they could get together as departments and do a lot of collaboration.
So each teacher has 2 files and a chair? Is that like their own home? Okay.
We're headed back to where we started at the Learning Commons, and it's set up in 3 different ways.
An office, a small group.
There's the information place where they can sit at, high tops. There's the comfortable place where you can just sit and read a book or just do something yourself. And then there's tables set up along the window with chairs so you can work with other people.